Welcome to this Pádel. Today we have a very special guest. She's visiting from Madrid, from Spain, because we are during the PPL time, and it's the best time to try to get pure knowledge. And that's the reason why I wanted to have María Wakonnig here. First time I've heard of her. I'm ignorant, and it's okay. I'm learning and openly exposing myself, because I think many people are following also this path. And she's been a great player, many titles. We're going to talk about that. And now she has an interesting angle. We want to highlight not just her career in sports, but also in business, which I think is important, because now that padel is growing all over the world, people like her are part of the industry. And I want to exposure the kind of business that can be done on top of padel in many ways, and even creating things that didn't exist before. Like learn by doing, I think has been part of your journey, and it's one of the things I would like to touch. So after this intro, that maybe is not accurate or didn't highlight enough all your achievements. So
no, it's perfect. It's perfect.
But
it's
welcome, Maria.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and great to be here.
And on top of that, you speak really good English.
I don't know if it's such a good English. Probably my mother would say that I don't speak such a good English, but that's fine.
Where
Not
is she
enough.
from?
She's from she's from everywhere, but she speaks English is almost her native, her first language.
So, but it's kind of a old school mom, right? Like demanding and asking you to be like top level. So what I would like to ask you is, how did you discover padel? What was your first experience with this game?
Okay, my first experience, it was many years ago. Too many to say, but no, I was 13 years old, I think, and I go for summer to the south of Spain, and that's where it started off. In Spain. So as I played tennis, a friend said, listen, why don't you try this sport that we've just built this court? And I just walked into the court, and I had no idea how padel went, not even the rules. So I used to hit the ball against the wall always, instead of letting bounce on the floor, bounce to the wall and hit it back towards the net. I would turn and I would play a bit like frontón. Frontón is something we play in Spain. But that was fun, and I started playing that way.
You know what? They play frontón here too.
Yes,
there's
I know.
a high ally. Like in Florida, is a big culture of the Basque culture. So, and in parts of Latin America, it's known too, which is curious for us that it's something that in Spain is not that popular anymore.
No,
but
not
there's still
popular.
like a microculture, I would say, and I think that's. I've played with Cubans here, and some of them are really good with the rebounds. And when you ask them, it's like, oh, but the flocón, I get it. So there's maybe something like...
When you have a wall, it's like squash or frontón or something like that.
Yeah, it's way faster, right?
Squash is faster, and you need a good physical strength.
Yeah. So how was your career in padel, like as a professional player?
Well, as a professional player, we started off, and we could not say that we were professional in the sense that all our income came from padel, because there was not enough money. But we were lucky enough in Spain to have a sponsor since the beginning of the times that arranged a very good tour around Spain. So that helped us play more, be more competitive, and start being more competitive. And that sponsor, did a great job expanding padel, because it was a little tour with 12 tournaments or 14 tournaments a year. And it was great because players could go and play. We got some money it was enough money to cover all the traveling and the food, and even get a bit money if you were lucky enough to win the tournament. But it was great. So it started. Those were the first milestones we reached, because we were able to play everywhere in Spain, and that's how it started off. And then we started with an association of clubs. Then that turned into a federation. In Spain, you have to know that the governing body of sports goes through federations. It's how would I say? It's a public service run privately. So it's a bit bizarre how they work, but they are the ones in charge of making and developing the base of the sport, meaning the base, the baseline. I mean, the people, and not the professional. It's not in charge of ruling of developing professional, but developing kids and amateurs and all that. So that's pretty good, and that's how we started off, and we started working and I mean, it's been a long time because we didn't have the capacity to give that visibility nowadays. We have through media and through streaming. Streaming nowadays is so easy. I get my iPhone, I put it there, and I'm streaming all around the world. But you have to think about 30 years ago or even more, where to be able to produce an event, you had to pay the production, and then you had to pay almost pay. Now, sometimes you got it by free, but you had to be able to get into a public TV so everybody could see it. So those were the first tapes in Spain, and we were happy now that people started liking the sport, and then we were very happy to get in the small town, no, not small town, but in the cities, the government, the cities from the government started building courts, and it was not private courts, it was public courts. So that's how we got people to get to play, and that's how it started.
I think that was part of democratizing padel, right? From being an elite sport to something that is super popular in Spain.
But it's been a long way.
Yeah.
But I think the what it was very well done. It was the settings and the routes, and they thought at the beginning there had been on the first years there had been a boom of squash, and they thought by a moment that padel could happen the same, that you had a boom, you had 3 years of many people talking about padel and playing padel, and then it would disappear. But no, we worked very well, all the grassroots and all the what we needed to be able to have good basis to develop the sport.
And I think it's super important in the way that here in America, people are super open to try new things. They like novelties, right? But if there's not a structure or a clear path, even, I mean, like learning, having good academies or good teachers, also having a circuit to compete. Like we have the league, but then we need some other like USPA, right? That is kind of the amateur different levels, like the federation, like primera, segunda, whatever. I think that's been built now. So first time I knew about you was last year during the Pro Padel League, because you were one of those that spoke English, and to me that's like a hidden gem, because there's not that much people that are really connoisseurs, part of the industry, and can explain themselves in English. And I'm sure you are seeing many things here that you've lived before in Spain, right?
Yes, I mean, it's completely different times because we're many years in advance in Spain. But yes, I can see things that I've seen it. So most of my work nowadays is helping and working with institutions, working with brands, working with entrepreneurs that they want to put money on padel, but telling them how they could do a better journey and show them some shortcuts and making sure that other things they can understand and that they invest their money properly. So that's what I'm trying to do to develop the sport, but that's what I work on.
Yeah, like
helping all those people interested in getting into the business.
I think it's important because you are helping them like learn from your mistakes, right? Like not meaning exactly that you did a lot of mistakes, but if you can avoid that and be successful, that's very important.
That's the same in everything, in all parts. In the business part, relating to develop the sport, yes, of course, we made mistakes and we still do mistakes, but that's the knowledge you get through many years of being there. So what I do with companies is to help them and say, listen, you're developing this, okay, I can help you to do it. It has no sense investing here. I think it has more sense if you do that. But it happens the same with the academies. You have people teaching, and if you have somebody that can help you teaching other teachers, it will be much better than learning by yourself. That's a path that sometimes we had to do by ourselves in our time. All the technique and tactical work came from Argentina. So in Spain we had no teachers. When I started playing, nobody taught me. So and you could see the first years because it had no sense how I played. I played tennis in a court. So all the help we got it from outside, and outside was Argentina at that time. Nowadays, Spain is the hub of paddle and has a very solid knowledge in all areas, and that's how we're doing.
So at that time we didn't have the internet, and to learn has to be very difficult, like learning slower but also trying to watch what they did, but you couldn't like record and repeat. Now we have a lot of tips, like what Kata is doing, for example. I love it, and that's
Kata is doing a great job showing. That's what she says all the time. Kata is a professional player. She was number one at I don't remember what year, but what she's doing now that she has stopped playing professional, though she's playing here the Pro Padel League. She's trying to show through her content what she learned about paddle and how she can make it easier, the journey easier for whoever is wants to become a pro, and that's what she's trying to do. And then she's helping the amateurs to get better playing.
And you came last year for the league. You are here too. What difference did you find in just a year?
In a year time, I see many differences. They've done a great job. Is to be able to maintain an event. It's complicated. You need many things to coordinate, and the two great things. They're much better than last year. The production is much better than last year. And another thing is that the players are better than last year in the sense that they have more high-ranked players involved, and that's something very. It's great. I mean, being able to have people that are seated from 1 to 30, or 50, I don't know, but all players that are playing are very well seated worldwide. So that's a great thing to be able to get here players. But now they will need to keep on working on improving the product and improving everything.
Yeah, not relaxing because there's still like a long way.
Yeah, there's room for improvement. But I'm sure they're gonna do it.
There has been just the first week, right? The second is about to start, and then there are more stages. But I think to give exposure to a new sport and for how early it is, I think it's a great job. But also, there are a lot more clubs, right? Before there was a scarcity of courts. I think still we need a lot more in order to develop. Like paddle not being difficult to find a court and play, which right now in Spain sometimes is difficult too, so it's part of the Pdel Fever. But how do you see in general also the atmosphere, how people are coming, how the ecosystem is developing? Because I think the league could be like the peak of the iceberg.
Yeah, I think the league probably is the top tournament and the top thing. It would be on the top of the pyramid. But as you go down, what I see is a lot of fans on the sense of playing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much following because I hadn't had the time to see that. But what you get is a lot of people getting crazy, and they have a fever, a real fever, because they play 3-4 times. That always happens with paddle. It happened in Spain. Nowadays, even though it's 20, 30 years old sport, consolidated sport in Spain, you have people, and the people play 2-3 times a week. That's very difficult to get in any other sports. But that's what it has paddle. If you have a club and you're able to have a client, you know that client is gonna come back and come back and come back and come back. So that's great. That's how I think. And then the clubs are marvelous. I think they're doing a great job to have good clubs, and even their indoor clubs, they're taking good care of having the altitude, the height of the ceiling good enough, and all that. And if I have to say a but, is that the prices are too high, even for people that live here. I know you cannot compare it to Spain because we're in completely different standards. but I think it's an expensive. It's a bit expensive, or that's what my friends from here have told me, that it's a bit expensive to play.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess that's the beginning, and when there will be more clubs, probably somebody will lower a bit the prices and everything. But if I have to put a but, because if you have too high prices, it'll be difficult to get a kid into the court.
Yeah, and that takes me also to create juniors. It's difficult to have
That's it,
new generations like kids. What you were saying is, I think, super accurate and interesting. But at the same time, I wanted to ask you something related to women's sports, right? Because I think padel is a sport that is, at least here, developing both male and female more or less at the same level or same interest. And it's a sport that people in general, they follow male and female. And the league has male match, female, and still mixto. So how do you feel about that, given all the background you have and all the female players trying to create the structure? And all that?
Female players are absolutely not necessary, but they're going to be there. And I mean, women, we are 50% of the population, and in padel is going to be a 50% of players going to be women. Then that's on the sense of amateur. Women get engaged with lessons, they get engaged with leagues, they get engaged with everything, the same as men. We afterwards, if you do a more inside study, well, you have the normal differences you have in any other sports between male and female, but of being a fanatic and everything, I think women are more or less the same.
That's
I've seen many women playing, and they enjoy it, and that's it.
Okay, that's excellent. I wanted to ask you about your job right now, because I saw Kata saying that you used to be competing in the court for many years, and now you're part of the same team. So what's your job right now related to padel players or the padel industry? Because I think that's super interesting right now in the US, now that it's developing, understanding that, this might be a piece of the ecosystem that is needed and it's not done right now, maybe in some other sports, but in padel could be different.
I mean, we in Wakonnig Sports, what we do is, it's three things mainly. I do consultancy, what I told you before, that I help brands, institutions, entrepreneurs, or whoever wants to be around sports. I used to do it with all sports, but since the COVID, I'm focusing padel. But I've done it all my life. What I do is I help them to pinpoint what the communication can be, or how they can reach their potential clients or whoever they want to communicate with. I want to share their product with. So using padel as a tool. So or maybe it's a company that wants to develop their business, that it's padel. So I help them do all the consultancy of what I told you before. What it is, in my opinion, the path to take, or who are the people they have to share information with, or they have to partnership with. And that's all that the work I have, all my knowledge through who is who in the market, and what you can do with that is what I help. So that's the part of consultancy, of developing the business, or communication programs, or activation programs for those people who want to partnership with padel. And then I have a part that I get very much involved, and I don't like having lots of players, because I get too much involved and it takes a lot of time. And I'm a manager, I'm an agent, or however you want. Well, there's a difference between agent and manager, but more or less I do both. But what I help players is in all their career. I mean, I don't just get a sponsor and that's it, and listen, you sign with this racket. I feel more involved. That's why I don't have many players. I work with some. I work with some and I manage everything. I work with them. I work with others, just helping that they need certain things at certain time. And with Kata, it's fun, because when she finished playing professional, she called me and she said, just give me a hand, please, because I don't know what to do. and she had so many ideas. She's so creative, and she knows. She's a hard worker, so she had so many ideas. So we put them on the table, and I said, "Listen, we have to throw something to the waste. I mean, out, because you won't be able to do everything." So now she's creating content. She's helping a lot, and that way of helping is creating her. And she's going all around the world doing master classes and clinics and helping other teachers and doing all her lessons and communicating all her knowledge. So that's been a great thing. The after pro helping talents, and that's what I do. And there's a third leg, if you want to say, or a third area where I work is designing events.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, if let's see, somebody wants to organize to design let's put, for example, PPL. If it was the case, it has not been the case, then tell us what we can to understand and to know what they can do, and there we put it as far as the client wants, and that's more or less what we're doing.
Yeah, and one of the players you have too is Celia McTwain, right? That
Yeah,
she
sure.
recently stop playing.
Yeah,
not professionally. I mean, because this
no,
is
that's another case. She
Yeah.
just finished, but she the path was clear. I mean, she's been top. She's been number one in 2013, I think, and then she's been top 5 for many years. But then last 2 years it wasn't that good, and she decided. But at the same time, she organized herself very well. Doing what's important is what happens the day one after you stop playing professional. You change so many things, and what she did was to study another career, because she had she had gone through university already, but she studied another one, and she's a psychologist, and she helps players with that part, and that's very important. So she's still in the court, but outside the court, as she says.
Yeah, it's good because many people, they go from the court to the being on the side and be a coach. In her case, I think it's very special because she's a psychologist, so can help you not just on the side of the court but outside. But she's been through the same path, so to me she's unique.
Yeah, she's unique. She's unique. There's nobody who's doing psychology to padel players that has been a padel player. So I mean, and then her skills are great. So she's a professional. She's a professional in padel, and she's a professional in psychology. So I guess if I would be playing as pro, I would for sure get her as my psychologist.
Great. Do you still play?
Do I play? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were. I know you were training, but
I play. I don't play as much, of course, and I have issues in my back all the time. But yes, I love the sport. I love tennis. I love paddle. I love sports. I go on bicycle. I'm an outside girl, so I like doing sports and paddle. Of course, I keep on playing. I don't play as much, but I'm here and I haven't had much chance. But I love hitting the ball.
Once you go back to Spain, if someone asks you, like, what are your takeaways from these days in Miami, in the first leg of the Pro Padel League, what would you tell? Like, what really got your attention here these days?
Well, they were able to set up a tournament where you have the best players. So that's a big thing. They've been able to repeat the tournament second year. So that's another thing. And I guess those things are the good things, the takeaways I have. And then it's fun that many players, they move their heads with doubts and everything, is that they're having mixed games, and that has been a lot of fun, and they've been quite competitive. I don't know, I'm hearing voices saying that use only the mix to untied. I don't know what's going to happen in the following weeks, But this week has been a lot of fun to see all the players I see every other day with playing mixed. It's fun.
Yeah.
The girls always say, "Shit, they're gonna kill me," but nobody hasn't killed anybody, and I think the matches have
So
been so far, but at least
I'm
1
kidding.
week off.
Yeah.
And the matches have been very much interesting and very tactical, and I loved seeing that, and I think they have been much fun.
Yeah, it's been something different, and also I like Aranza Fosoro. The comments she was doing, all that, she's very expressive, so it was funny to see her playing, and also thinking a little bit about something special, like when are we going to see again Tapia and Ari Sanchez together on the same side of the court playing? To me, that's unique, and that's already like something
it's
that
been
PPL
unique.
has achieved.
It has never happened. I mean, you get Tapia and Ari, you get Gonzalo Rubio and Patti, you get, I don't know, you get Campa, who was he playing with?
Riera, I think?
With Riera.
Yeah.
I mean, great fun.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean, it's been a fun.
So my last question is about the future. Like, how do you envision, or how would you like the future of padel to be for your industry? Like, where is it going? But also in general as a global sport.
As a global sport?
Yeah, how do you envision padel?
That I hope it becomes a worldwide sport, and I mean, it gets as much as importance as the tennis, for example. I mean, it's the reference for me because I was born with tennis, but I think that's what we all want.
Yeah, that's the reference we have in mind.
Yeah, because if it's worldwide, it will be able to be an Olympic game, and that's something beautiful, and it's great. And a part of being beautiful, it gets the sport in another, in the biggest competition. Sports competition in the world is the Olympic Games. So if you get that sport there, it's amazing, and for the players, it's the dream of everybody. I mean, all athletes want to be in an Olympic game.
Yeah, makes sense. And what about your specific side of the industry? Do you envision more brands getting into padel, or?
Yeah, I envision that it's going to happen with like in all booming businesses. You're going to get a lot of people inside the first years. They're going to get crazy. So many things are happening in the past 4 years. So many things are happening. You must know that the ownership of the private tour, professional tour, has changed hands. It's completely different. I don't know. Many brands will disappear. Many new ones will come. The ones that were being small and were doing nothing, but they were a big company now, they're starting to do things because they've seen the value of padel. They've ignored it for many years, but now we have this part, and we're not taking attention. Now they're taking a lot of so the many things going. We're gonna get new partners. We're gonna get new companies involved. We're gonna get new agents. We're gonna get. We're getting already. So many people will come, and many people will go.
Yeah,
that's
we'll
what's
see.
gonna happen. Like life.
Okay. Hope to see you here next year, or maybe earlier.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure, I will. Probably I'll come back to Miami. It's nice
And there
city.
are many things going on here in padel.
Many things are going on here in general.
Yeah. It's
I
becoming
mean,
like
real estate is crazy.
True.
So many things are happening here, and it's a great city. So why not to come back?
And it has all the things you like, right? Like the sea, sailing, and because I know you like it. I've heard a little bit
sailing.
about that. So
I like sailing.
Okay. Hope to see you here again. And
Thank
thanks
you
for
so much.
your time and knowledge.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.